We are back. Let's return to the bright and vibrant world of Lorwyn and the eerie nights of Shadowmoor. Most importantly, there's a lot of new and returning mechanics, so let's get into it. When the day is out, Lorwyn is a beautiful, bright, and colorful plane, and so naturally, its inhabitants would reward you for that. Cards with a new mechanic, Vivid, rewards you for loading your deck up with permanents of all colors. This means it could be any of the multicolored creatures in the set, or maybe the permanents that have hybrid mana. The more colors amongst permanents you control, the better, as these Vivid payoffs will be huge. But what happens during the night? You see, Shadowmoor's gloom is represented through the -1/-1 counters distributed by the new mechanic, Blight. When distributing your counters from Blight, you must put it all on one creature, but usually to some kind of very beneficial reward. Speaking of light and of the dark, what better plane than Lorwyn to bring back transformation cards? Or was it Shadowmoor? Either way, the set is loaded with double-sided cards that can flip back and forth once their conditions are met. Just like the last time we visited this plane, its denizens rewarded you for building decks and strategies around all of the creature types on the plane. But we can't forget about the non-creature spells as well, as we'll see the return of all of the commands. Whether it's Sig's command, Grub's, Brigid, Ashling, or Tristan, there's a command for whatever kindred type you'd like. To help us hit a critical mass of creatures, we've got Changelings. They're back. They are everything. Literally, they are actually just every creature type. Whether it's merfolk, tree folk, whatever it is, goblin, merfolk. Did I say merfolk already? Sure, maybe I like merfolk this set. But the main thing here is these changelings are all creature types. With all the creatures you'll have on board, well, I'm sure we could figure out something to do with all of these creatures, actually, because we're gonna see Convoke return. Convoke means that we can tap down any untapped creatures we've got to help pay for spells. Maybe a spell like Harmonize Crescendo. Tapping these creatures down will then pay a color of the creature's color, or one generic mana. Another returning mechanic is Evoke! With all of the sweet new elementals that are returning in this set, you gotta bring this mechanic back, and you can cast these elementals for much cheaper with its Evoke cost. And depending on the colors spent casting these elementals will determine the effects that you get. Just remember, you gotta sacrifice the elemental afterwards. In a world full of inhabitants who have their gods of light and dark, it's only natural to behold. When a card asks you to behold, you simply have to show a card that is of the required type, either from your hand or on the board. And now that you've seen the brand new and the returning mechanics, let's look at the archetypes that you'll see when you play draft, or maybe see. The Merrow are back in blue and white and looking to synergize with all the tapping and untapping strategies that they can. This will either lead to powerful effects like Indestructible, maybe a cheaper spell, or a cheaper creature thanks to Convoke. Let's not forget about our inner Boggart. The goblins are back. And of course, they're black and red. These goblins will be dispersing -1/-1 counters onto your disposable goblin attack force. Use these little goblins however you need to, whether it's to complete the task at hand, or send them flying into the sun. Who knows? For any problem you've got, throw a goblin at it. The Kithkin are in green and white, and they're looking to flood the board as you would expect, whether that's spamming the board with tokens, and then sharing abilities across each one, and that'll lead to us overrunning all of our opponents. The Flamekin, the Rhymekin, and the Cinders. Well, they've been waiting for you, and this time they're in blue and red. And they have one question. Do you like big spells? Because, well, very simply, they will reward you for casting them. Whether it's to draw cards every time you cast a spell 4 or greater, or maybe dealing 2 more damage on top of that. And lastly, the most imperious perfect of them all, the elves of Lorwyn. The elves have always been in tune with nature, but also with death and the graveyard, meaning that with all of our fallen elves, we can still benefit from the grave! Because they're dead! Death will not be the end of these elves, as what is the graveyard? if not another resource. Now that we've seen the denizens of Lorwyn, explore the worlds of Lorwyn Eclipsed at your LGS. Now off to your next event you go. And may the days of Lorwyn be long, but the nights of Shadowmoor be longer.